Hi there, thank you for watching this video. In this how-to, I'll show you how to configure your duplicate check scenarios to find duplicate records. After watching this video, you've learned how to create and configure a scenario, how to set up and use the weighting, how to apply the right matching methods, how to apply the right threshold, how to use the frequent words feature, how to use the empty fields setting. Let's get started. Duplicate check uses strategies defined in so-called scenarios to compare records and find duplicate records. By configuring a scenario, you can decide yourself how duplicate check should compare your records and what should be considered as a duplicate record. You can configure your scenarios at the DC Setup page. Navigate to the DC Setup page in your Salesforce. In the Object Setup, on the left side of your screen, you can switch between objects. Click the lead object to check your duplicate check setup for leads. We're now at the Scenarios tab. Duplicate check has already defined one scenario, the lead default scenario. By clicking the arrow on the icon in front of the scenario's name, you can open up the scenario and see what it consists of. A scenario consists out of 8 components: the scenario name, the threshold level, the empty field setting, apply to, fields, frequent words, matching methods, weighting. Let's start off with the fields. To decide if a record is a duplicate, duplicate check will compare the values of the fields that you define in your scenario. You can add or remove any field you'd like, or create a new scenario and start from scratch. By comparing the field values, duplicate check will calculate a matching percentage between your records. That matching percentage varies from 0% to 100%. If there is a 100% matching percentage, there is an exact match in the values at first name, last name, company name, email, and phone, like you see in this example. To decide how much impact each individual field has on the matching percentage, duplicate check uses the weighting setting. By setting an equal weighting at all fields, every field has exactly the same impact on the matching percentage. When using 5 fields in a scenario combined with an equal weighting, every individual field is responsible for 20% of the total matching percentage. The 5 fields combined can reach 100% matching percentage. Check out this example. If only the email address is not a match in both records, the total matching percentage will be 80%. If you want, you can change the weighting on your field if you want to make a field more or less important in the comparison process. If we change the weighting on the email address field to 20 in this example, it becomes twice as important as other fields. As a result, the matching percentage will go down, since the email address is not a match in this example. Let's move on to the matching methods. A matching method decides how we analyze and score values that we compare. Right now, we have selected the exact matching method at all fields. The exact matching method will only give a full score if there's an exact match. Because of that, the 2 email addresses that we are comparing receive a 0% matching percentage. They're not an exact match. By selecting the right matching method, duplicate check is able to compare the value in a more advanced way, better known as fuzzy matching. It allows us to match together values that are similar and get a high matching percentage, even though those values are different. Select the email address matching method for the email address field and see what effect it has on the total matching percentage. The total matching percentage is now a lot more fair, considering the fact that there are only a couple of characters different in the 2 records. By selecting the right matching methods for every value type, Duplicate Check can apply this logic to all fields. If you want to find out more about what each matching method does exactly, please check out the matching method article in our knowledge base. That's already a lot of information. Are you still hanging in there? Good. Let's talk about the threshold setting. The threshold setting located beside the scenario name decides from what percentage you consider a match as a duplicate record. The standard setting is 75%. If a match is equal to or higher than 75%, Duplicate Check will return it as a result. By setting the threshold lower than 100%, like in this case 75%, we allow results that are not exactly the same. Records may deviate from a maximum of 25% and still turn up as a potential duplicate. Records that contain spelling errors can still be defined as a duplicate record. By setting a higher threshold level, the results will be more strict. By lowering it, the results are looser. Play around with this until you get the best results in your database. Next up is the frequent word setting. By applying a list of frequently used words to a field, Duplicate Check will not take those words into account when comparing records. Our standard frequent words list have defined abbreviations such as LLC or PLC. By applying this list to your own company name field, Duplicate Check will not match on these terms, which can be found in a lot of company names. You can easily add your own words to this list as well. So if you're dealing with a lot of universities in your database, it might be a good idea to enter the word university to the list. Then when comparing University of New York and University of Washington, Duplicate Check will only compare New York with Washington and see that it's not a duplicate value. Alright, we're almost there. The last setting we didn't discuss yet is the empty field setting. When comparing records, it can happen that a field in some records are not always populated. The empty field setting decides how Duplicate Check should handle that when comparing the records. Check out this example. Record A is populated at all fields. Record B has a missing email address. By setting the empty field setting at disregard, Duplicate Check will not take into account the email address field at all and can still trigger a 100% score by comparing the other fields in your scenario. By setting the empty field setting to a score of 50%, we take into account the email address field for 50%. Since it's not a match, it affects the matching percentage and cannot reach 100% matching percentage anymore. By setting the empty field setting to a score of 0%, we take into account the email address field fully and give the non-match a score of 0% and will affect the matching percentage even more. At Apply To, you can decide in what features you want to use your scenarios. This gives you the flexibility to create and use different scenarios for different features. For example, find existing duplicate records based on email address only, and check for duplicates based on first and last name when entering a new record. It's entirely up to you. If you want to find out where you can apply your scenarios to, check out our website and knowledge base to find out what features Duplicate Check has to offer. Congratulations! You now know how to create and configure your own scenarios. Thank you for watching this video. Learn more about Duplicate Check by checking out more articles and videos at support.duplicatecheck.com. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us.